raise your hand or put a comment. Fine. So yes, firstly, very basics we will discuss. Budget is nothing but the estimation of revenue as well as expenditure, right? So the expenditure as well as the receipts, basically estimating them, are called as a budget. Very simple one. Now let's discuss briefly about the components of the budget. I'm not discussing very in detailed manner, but I'll tell you few things which are very important to understand the later part of the budget, right? So for the general budget, either it is central government or state government, we have receipt. Understand the difference between receipt and revenue. There is two confusing terms, revenue and receipt. Receipt is the money which government is receiving. Either it is a one way payment, that means like taxes, non taxes, right? And also includes a debt. Government will also receive money in that fiscal year from a borrowings, also market borrowings. Those are all part of the receipts. Okay. Revenue means one way payments which government receives, no need to pay back. There is a difference. Receipt is a big circle, and revenue is a small subset of the big circle, right? So this is the difference between receipts and revenue. Now we have expenditure, that is government expenditure, and expenditure includes that government may get some funds continuously in the next year also. Like now we are doing expenditure, but in future also we will get returns out of it, right? So this is how the money receiving is called as receipts, and expenditure, whatever government is doing, it is part of the expenditure. Now revenue receipt means those money received by the government which does not create any debt on the government. It is like a one way payments, like it is receiving money from taxes or fines, fees, whatever. So these are all the revenue receipt. That means the one way payment which government no need to pay back. That is the revenue receipt. Now capital receipt, understand this. Capital receipts are the money government is receiving either by losing its assets or in form of uh, debt obligation that we need to pay back. So I'm repeating again, capital receipts includes the money which government receiving as a liability which need to pay back in the future, or it includes the money which government is receiving by losing its assets. They are non-debt capital receipts. For example, government sell it off the Air India. It is a capital we lost. We have government has received money, but government lost its asset, right? All those falls under the capital receipt. Whatever government sells the assets and gets the money, or which government is borrowing, those are coming comes under the capital receipt, right? Now expenditure. Expenditure again can be classified into two types. Now, revenue expenditure means which government is doing expenditure. Government will not get any money in the future, like salaries, right? Or pensions, subsidies. All those are the expenditure which government is doing. Government will not receive any benefit out of it. Then we have a capital expenditure. Government is spending money now, doing expenditure now, but in future there will keep on getting some money out of it. For example, government has created some road. Now they have spent some 100 crores, but government can collect the taxes, vehicle tax or petrol, from petrol tax, whatever, government will get continuous money in the future, right? So now tell me, your response is also very important for us to continue for the long session. Now tell me, out of these four components, which one are positive for the government? Can anyone tell me which one are positive for the government?
Sir, revenue receipt and then capital expenditure.
Right, good. So we have two benefits, that is capital expenditure or revenue receipt. So government should always aim to increase the revenue receipts or capital expenditure. Government should try to reduce the capital receipt as well as the revenue expenditure, right? So these trends, what is the money now, how much the trend is been increasing over the years, these things we will see at the end in a very detailed manner. You can expect a 1 to 2 questions for sure, because these trends are not discussing in the videos, they are just discussing the propositions that are not required actually, right? So this we will see in the later half, where I'll be discussing how much central government is giving states, what is the trends, right? So you will understand practically in a coming slides, right? Yes, keep responding so that it gives me energy as well, that you are understanding the things. Fine. Let's move ahead. Now, the budget has a three sets of figures. Now tell me, like government is proposing the budget even before the completion of the fiscal year. Let's say now we are in the fiscal year of 2024-25, but budget has proposed for 2025-26, upcoming year. Why government is putting budget in the February itself? Why don't it keep it in the April 1st when the financial year starts? Financial year is between April 1 to March 31. But why government is proposing this budget even before 2 months? Anyone? Tell me this question, we'll go ahead. See, all these are very important, but usually a lot of students neglect it.
Sir, so that they can avoid vote on account.
No, not like that.
Okay.
Not to avoid as such. See, I'll tell you. Yes, partially correct. Asking opposition's opinion, you are correct. See, we have a lot of parliamentary committees. You must have read it in the polity. We have estimates committee. We have committee on PSUs. There are a lot of committees. They need to check if government is keeping it in April 1st and we need to start the budget. Who will check what they have done? Article 112 clearly mentions that but government has to put the annual financial statement in front of the parliament, and opposition through parliament committees will scrutinize it. So they will give 2 months of time, February 1 till March 31, 2 months time will be given to the parliamentary committees to scrutinize the past tense, what they have promised to expenditure last year. They will check whether the government has done right thing or not. And also for next year, if there is any discrepancies, that comes, the government is being accountable to the parliament. So to give some time to the the committees, parliamentary committees, government will put the budget, and the the parliament or the Lok Sabha will, go for a holiday for 2 months until the parliamentary committees check. That's why, see, April 1 onwards, again, we will have a long budgetary sessions for 20 days, 30 days. But now it is just a day because the budget will be proposed, whatever expenditure being done, that will be put in front of the parliamentary committees. That is the reason why we are keeping the budget in financial year 2000, in the February 1 itself. Now let's move ahead. Whenever the government is proposing the budget, they will keep three sets of figure. They will keep in front of the parliament three sets of figure. Now tell me, we are in the financial year of 2024-25. Are we having the complete details of the financial year 2024-25? No, still 2 more months are there. February, March has to be done. So we did not get the final figures of 2024-25. It is a revised estimates. Last time, February 21, 2024, they have proposed budget. They have spent, but still 2 more months are there. Whatever they have proposed last year, is that achieved or not? What is the status? So those are called as the revised figures of the current year. So this budget and revised figure of current year is the one which we are ongoing, right? And then actual figures of previous year. Now let's say 2024 February 1 they have kept the budget, but that time we don't have budget figures of 2023-24, and now we have the final figures of 2023-24 because it's been done last March 31 itself, it's been done. So we have the final figures. Those are called as the actual figures of the previous year 2023-24. Now budget estimates of the upcoming year, that means 2025-26. Now government is going to propose, that is the budget estimates, we call it as a BE, budget estimates. RE means revised estimate, that is of the ongoing current year because the final figures are not yet available, still 2 more months are there. And then we have the actual figures, that is 2023-24, which has been done. Is this clear? Any doubts in this? Is this clear? Shall we move ahead? Yeah.
Yes.
Now let's briefly see this as well. I'll show you about the discussion. This is the budget of 2000. Just a second. Yeah, 2000 25-26. So you can see here actual figures of 2023-24. That means all the details that's been given. We will discuss this at the end, don't worry. Just to make you understand, this is the actual figures where the final figures are available and it's been put. And then 2024-25, last year when they have proposed, this was the budget estimates, right? What we are going to spend, how we are going to collect the tax. This was the estimate. Until now 10 months been done, still February, March is there. Revised estimates of the same 2024-25. You can see this. Still the but 2 more months are there and some money is there for government. Whatever the receipts are there, so still government have time to collect few more money, right? Capital receipts also. There will be slight discrepancy because still 2 more months are there. We need to get the actual figures. We have to see next year budget what we have achieved. And then this is the 2025-26 where all the figures are estimated. This will be, they won't be able to exactly replicate, but this was the estimation done by the government and accordingly they will propose this, right? So this was the proposition for current year, I mean the coming year. Fine. These details I'll discuss at the end in the figures when we are discussing the numbers. Fine. Let's move ahead. Now the budget theme, see, understand this particular thing. Whatever the budget government is proposing since few years, the aim of the budget is to achieve the developed India by 2047. So whatever government want to do in the upcoming years, the objective is already fixed in the by whenever we are completing 100 years of independence, we should achieve the developed country. This is the objective of the budget. Last year budget also the same, right? So the theme was given as Sabka Vikas, but the objective is to achieve developed India by 2047. So whatever taxes being collected, whatever the expenditure being done, everything was kept in mind to achieve the developed India. That is the objective of the ongoing budget. So this Vikshit Bharat, that is developed India. Vikshit Bharat means developed India. Government has said that if we are to be said as a developed country, it should consist of these following aspects. Government has given six explicitly mentioned achievements that we need to do. That is zero poverty. We should, no person should be experiencing the poverty, and then 100% good quality school. That means every child should have a good quality school education. Then access to high quality and affordable healthcare. That means everyone should be able to get this affordable healthcare with quality. And then 100% skilled labor. You might be aware that whatever we are educating, we are not having the practical knowledge. This is what Mahatma Gandhi has said. We need to promote the vocational skills and all. But still, there are many reports, even Niti Aayog skill report last year, that only 27% youth are having the sufficient skills. That means the rest of 73% are just studying but without any skills, right? So this 100% skills has to be achieved so that we can also enable them to enter into the employment. Now, one more thing is that 70% women should involve in the economic activities. Again, this aspect. Our society is a patriarchal one since ages, since Vedic time, especially later Vedic period time. So our society is a patriarchal. That's why the women participation is just around 30%. That means out of 100 eligible women who can take part of work, only 30% are doing. Rest of the 70%, they are restricted to the household chores, right? So this also one more objective. And then yes, farmers should make our country food basket of the world. Like how most of the countries are depending on China now for many of the goods. You see largest producer of rice or bajra, jowar, many, even allied sector also, it will be China, fisheries China, because they were not even equal to our GDP in 1960s, but now they are six times. Our GDP is 300 lakh crores, but their GDP is 800 lakh crores. So they are six times. So because this is, we need to strengthen our agriculture. So if we could able to achieve all these things, then we can say our country is a developed country. This is what the government has said. Fine. Now, this budget has given six domains, whatever the transformative initiatives that they are going to take up. They have focused on taxation, power sector, urban development, mining, financial sector, regulatory reforms. Don't worry, this is not very important. Just government has mentioned. So you can, this may be useful for mains, but for prelims they are not asking, unlike state PCS, railways, exams and all. But for mains, yes, you have to, there are many questions directly from budget. So these are the domains which you need to remember for mains exam. Okay. I'm not focusing much on because it will take some time. Just remember the things. Now, the journey of development, you can see here, what is the objective? That is developed country. We need to achieve the developed country. Fine. Sorry, no poverty. What is the criteria? See, there is a no criteria as such, Uday Sai. Like we have a Niti Aayog report, let's say multidimensional poverty index. It has proposed that around 12%, they have projected by 2020 to 23, we will have 12% of poverty. So there is no actual figures. It is up to the government which gives the data, right? Time to time. Earlier we were having NSSO report data. Now NSSO and CSSO, NSSO and CSO was clubbed to make it NSO, National Statistics Office. So anyway, it is Niti Aayog which is giving. So there is no basis as such. Whatever government decides, that will be the poverty data, right? We don't have any particular criteria as such. Fine. That you can write in the challenges when you are writing the answer anyway. Yeah. Now, the objective is to achieve the developed country by 2047. This is the destination. So for that, we required reforms. Fuel means here not actually a crude oil, they are not talking about. Fuel is the one which runs the vehicle, the same way which runs the country. So reforms will run our country to achieve the developed country. Fine. And in the process of making reforms to achieve developed country, government spirit is inclusivity. That means cutting across minorities or different castes, different sections of society. They want to make everyone to be part of this developed country goal. So this is the spirit, government spirit, right? Now, these engines they have mentioned. So whatever the budget we are going to discuss, that will be related to agriculture, MSME, investment and exports only. Because these were the four engines which government has given, that these four engines we will divide into number of parts and we will propose the things. Agriculture, MSME, investment, exports. These are the four engines, like how for a vehicle, along with the fuel, which actually use the energy. So government want to give energy to the economy through these four sectors, right? Yes, and aspirations, of course, everyone have aspirations. You have aspiration to become IAS. So what aspirations government has in this next 20, 25 years, right? To achieve the developed country, what aspirations government has in this next 20, 2 years, right? So accelerated growth, that means many of the economic surveys also said, even earlier 2017, 18 one also, if you want to do inclusivity, if you want to bring inclusive growth, first we need to have a growth actually. If you have GDP, let's say China have 1800 lakh crores GDP, so that they can distribute among the population. But we have only 300 lakh crores. So first we need to get the growth, right? So that growth, even economic survey 3 days back, which released, at least 10 years we need to achieve 8% of economic, I mean GDP growth. Then only we will be able to achieve the developed country. But it was projected our growth is only around 6%. Anyway, we will discuss economic survey separately in our lecture by lecture. Currently, let's come back to the budget. Accelerated growth, then secure inclusive development, enhance spending of power for India's rising middle class. See, India's middle class actually want to save a lot, and they are not saving in the banks. At least 20-30% they are taking gold, or they are keeping in their homes, or creating an idle asset and keeping asset like land, which does not running the money, and GDP will not grow unless until there is a running of money into the market. So government want to push the middle class to spend more, then it will come into the GDP. I mean, it will run the GDP, right? And then obviously investing, I mean, uh, invigorate means pushing private sector investment. Government, it's a very political thing, that government always focus on welfare, right? So that's why government want to push, as they are lacking in resources, government want to push the private sector participation, as government obviously will focus on welfare activities, right? So private sector plays a crucial role. Then uplift household sentiment, whatever households required. So government want to push those sentiments, right? So this is about the aspirations. Now we are actually moving to the budget. Any doubts? Yeah, I don't think any doubts are there in the comment section. Let me move ahead. Next, the budget actually is all the measures, all the propositions that government has kept forward are four things I told you: agriculture, investments, exports, and MSME. So again, they have divided into 10 broad areas. If you have followed last year budget, full-time budget after elections, winning of elections, the same focusing of Garib, poor, youth, Anadata farmers, and Nari women. Same these four areas covering a nine objective areas, but this time they have put it to the 10 areas. Agriculture growth and productivity, rural prosperity, resilience, inclusive growth path, boost manufacturing, MSMEs, employment led innovation, energy supplies, promoting exports, nurturing innovation. These are the 10 broad areas where government want to focus, keeping in mind of poor, youth, farmers, and women, right? So this is what the government propositions has proposed. Now let's understand the government proposal to fulfill these objectives. These are all proposals, okay? I'll go very quick because I'm telling you these are not very important for prelims, but for mains, yes, they will ask you these things, right? So let's see what government has proposed to achieve the developed country, covering in these four engines and 10 broad areas. First one related to the agriculture, you can see here agriculture growth and building rural prosperity is the first thing that they propose. So let's see what they have proposed in these things. First, they are going to come up with Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana scheme. A new scheme is going to be achieved, right? So, but it is not completely mentioned there. That will come only once the cabinet approves the things. But yes, this is the proposition that government want to launch the Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana scheme. For what purpose? It is like an aspirational district program. You might be aware that Niti Aayog has focused 112 aspirational districts to push their developments, especially underdeveloped area. The same way, government want to take 100 districts. We have number of districts across the states, but government want to select 100 districts and then focus on enhancing agriculture productivity, adopt crop diversification and sustainable agriculture practices, augment post harvest. You know, the Dalwai committee and many other committees have said we are wasting 23% of food grains, which is actually the same waste in terms of crores. If you could able to create storage facility, then it will be much easy for us. Like we are wasting 23% for every 100 rupees, 23 rupees we are wasting in terms of waste. So this waste money could have been spent on creating infrastructure, so there will they it must save a lot of farmers money, right? So post harvesting storage, you know, government has come up with the world largest grain storage plan through packs, primary agriculture credit societies, right, last year. And then improve irrigation facility, facilitate long term credit as well for the farmers. So basically this scheme want to push the agriculture in 100 specific districts, and they are saying that of course we cannot say that will be true or false. We have to see in the future. This scheme is going to benefit 1.7 crore farmers. Currently, we are having a 10.7 crore farmers in the country directly, specifically who are in agriculture. So it is saying that it is going to benefit the 1.7 crore farmers. Next, they want to enhance the credit through KCC, that is Kisan credit cards. Whatever Kisan credit card initiative is there, government is going to facilitate short term loans. Earlier they were used to give 1 lakh per farmer to take the loan, and then they can invest in agriculture and they can pay back in terms of a continuous loan clearing, right? But now government is going to push 5 lakh. So up to 5 lakh, they are going to give the loan to the farmers, especially who has a good credit ratings. So it is going to benefit 7.7 crore farmers, right? So this is the second measure. Then they are going to come up with national mission. Yeah, okay, fine. Uh, right. There is a comment on no. I did not understand your query, Janvi. Anyway, let's move ahead. The next one is National Mission on High Yielding Seeds. So government want to bring the new mission, which want to promote high yielding seeds. You know, you must be aware about the seed replacement rate. Okay, great. Yeah. So you must be aware about the seed replacement rate, SRR. That is, if a farmer, if let's say we have a net sown area of 100 acres, in given area, net sown area of 100 acres, how much area we are cultivating using the new seeds? The seed replacement rate is very low in India. That means farmers are using the old seeds itself, which are collecting from their fields. Those seeds will have a very less productivity and also prone to the pest attack. So government want to increase the seed replacement rate to use the new seeds every year. Then only we will be able to increase the productivity. But most of the farmers in India are poor. 90% of the farmers are holding less than 2 acres, which means they are small and marginal farmers. So government want to bring the new mission on high yield seeds so that government can increase the productivity, right? And next one is mission for cotton productivity. Government is proposed that they want to bring mission for cotton productivity because cotton crop is being in a very loss since many years. It's been a very good step if government could able to manage it. That mission for cotton productivity 5 years mission is going to bring it on, and what measures they will take, that has not mentioned. We have to see once the cabinet approves this, right? Then we have a makana board. You can see makana here. So makana is a very healthy food, especially for women during pregnancies and all. So government is going to establish a makana board in Bihar with the help of FPOs, farmer producer organization. We have to see what they will do. But anyway, they may ask you in the exam that makana board was proposed in Bihar, right? A statement based. They won't ask by in fact where it was proposed, unlike state PCS, right? Now, next one is Atmanirbhar Bharat. National Mission on High Yielding Seeds, part of NAPCC. No, it is not part of NAPCC. NAPCC is a different thing. It is a different scheme, National Mission on High Yielding Seed part. Okay, so that is a different scheme, not part of NAPCC. Okay, next, Atmanirbhar Bharat on pulses. India is the largest producer of pulses, largest consumer, and also largest importer. Such a contradictory we are in. We are largest producer and also we are largest importer. That means whatever the grains that we are producing, the pulses, we are not able to sufficient to the country. So that's why government is importing lot of pulses from many countries and we are losing our foreign exchange. That's why government want to launch a 6-year mission to self-dependent on the pulses production. Through this mission, they are going to focus on three type of pulses: tur, urad, masoor. Then they are going to do these things: climate resilient seeds, protein content enhancement, increase productivity. These are all self-explanatory. I don't want to waste your time on discussing these things. Post harvesting storage. So by doing all these things, government want to increase the self-dependency on pulses production, right? Then we have India Post as a catalyst for rural economy. See, post offices network is the most decentralized one in India. We have a post payment banks, we have a cooperative society, we have a number of things, but no organization has penetrated like a Indian Post since 1850s. Since Britishers, our every village have an Indian post office. So government is trying to capture this good network through post office. They are going to give loans, they are going to increase savings, they are going to pool the resources, they are going to give the insurance products, they are going to uh, transfer money directly to DBT, direct benefit transfer, to the bank accounts. Because even though we have launched Jam Trinity, Jandan Yojana, Aadhaar, mobile, we have a Jam Trinity, but still lot of farmers does not have a bank accounts, but they do use the post offices. So government want to use this post office network to catalyze the rural economy so that they can provide all the services to the rural people through the post offices. So all these things they want to do through post office network. Then government has come up with a few initiatives related to the MSMEs. So government is going to give the credit cards. You all know that how credit cards work. That means even without we are having money, we can spend. If you are having a credit card, you no need to have any money in your account, bank account. You can spend, then you can pay later. So government want to push because MSMEs are facing lot of cash crunch. Okay, so that's why government want to release the credit cards for MSMEs up to 5 lakhs. Small, whatever micro units are there. It's not even MSMEs actually. Micro. We will see the classification of small and medium, but this is specifically related to the micro enterprises. Remember, in exam they will give you credit cards for micro bin for all the MSMEs were proposed by the government, but it is only for micro enterprises. These credit cards are only given for micro enterprises, right? That too up to 5 lakh limit. Only 5 lakh up to they can use. And government has also kept one more condition, that is they have to register with Udyam portal, right? Udyam portal is the one which gives support to the MSMEs. Every MSME will be registered so that it becomes more organized. we are having a more unorganized sector in the MSMEs because of their small scale nature. But once they register with Udyam portal, they will come into the organized sector net. So it is mandatory if they want to avail credit cards, they have to register with the Udyam portal, right? And in first year, 10 lakh such cards are going to be issued. From the next financial year, they are target 10 lakh such cards. That means they can increase in the later part, right? And whoever are there in the first time enterprises, the first time enterprises are there, for them 5 lakh first, I mean such 5 lakh first time enterprises, by covering women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, a new scheme is going to be provided to give loans up to 2 crores. So the loan can be given, it can be of 2 crores, the first time enterprises only. Don't if they are already existing in the business, they are not going to get the benefit. But the new enterprises who want to start their business, government is going to give them 2 crore rupees loans up to 2 crore rupees based on their propositions for the next 5 years. So these were the proposed for the MSMEs, right? And now we have an important thing to be remembered, so be attentive here. First, manufacturing. Obviously, so can someone tell me how much manufacturing is contributing to GDP? Because without discussion, it is becoming monotonous. Tell me how much manufacturing sector is contributing to the country's GDP. You know, service sector is contributing 55%. Now tell me how much manufacturing sector is contributing.
Sir, around 35%.
No, it is not manufacturing you are saying. You are saying industry. It is 32, 33% is there. But I'm specifically asking about manufacturing. Yes, manufacturing is contributing around 18%, right? 17, 18% around it is contributing, right? But government want to push this to 25%. The National Manufacturing Policy 2011, government want to push until 25%. Okay, industry is different. Industry includes mining also, which is actually a primary sector, right? Manufacturing sector is in secondary sector. Industry includes primary sector, that is mining also, electricity utilities also. So that's why two different things, you should not confuse with that. Okay. Now, why I'm discussing this thing is that we are growing service sector. I mean, our service sector is growing, but with the same relation to the growth, its contribution 55%, we are not able to generate employment because service sector is not employment intensive. It is a capital intensive. That means more money will be run in service sector, but employees will be less. So if you could able to push manufacturing sector, then we will get more employment. You must have noted recently the economic survey also that we were not able to generate employment. We are going good in GDP, but employment is not being generated. So for that, we need to focus on manufacturing sector. We have to increase manufacturing sector to contribution to 30% also, so that employment will also be pushed. Service sector, even if it is coming to 40%, its contribution will be good, right? Employment will only be created by manufacturing sector. That's why government want to uh, make ease of doing business, ready workforce, technology availability, quality products, clean manufacturing, all these things they want to involve in the manufacturing sector to push its growth, right? Then specifically, government has mentioned three manufacturing sectors, that is footwear and leather sectors. So it is going to expect create 22 lakh persons. It is a expectation of the government. Whatever government is going to focus on footwear and leather, it is going to create 22 lakh persons, and turnover of 4 lakh crores will be generated. And out of this 1.1 lakh crores will be exported to the other countries. This is what government is expecting, right? And the toy sector, there was no specific mentioning of how much they are going to give and all, unlike last budget. See, some 5 to 10 years before, we were importing lot of toys from China. But if you see, now lot of toys have a stamp of made in India. That means we were able to achieve. Last year economic survey also has mentioned clearly that toy sector, we were able to invigorate it, grow it in a very good manner. So we are in a good position. But yes, government is going to push few more because toys always have you know growth, because we keep generating children, people, right? So that's why toy sector is always. So in this, government want to create a made in India brand for the next coming a few years. Okay. Then government also mentioned that government is going to establish a National Institute of Food Technology, NIFT, National Institute of Food Technology in Bihar. government is going to establish a new national institute. Already Makana board they have said, and again National Institute for Food Technology, one more organization for Bihar, because you know the reason. I don't want to go into the political aspects anyway, right? Next one, significant enhancement credit availability for guarantee cover. Let's understand this. Now, government create lot of fund, right? You must have seen that here that government has created animal infrastructure fund of 10,000 crore, 1 lakh crore. These are the not money directly given to the public. These are given to the banks, and then banks will give to the loans to the public. So when the public defaults, government will pay. Government will take the responsibility to pay them, the banks. So when government is guaranteeing, then banks will be happy to give the loans because they have the support of the government. So now if some MSME has taken loan and it has was not able to pay, so until 5 crores government was giving backing support, government was giving guarantee that you give loans up to 5 crore, we will guarantee you. So it is encouraging banks to give loans to the MSMEs. MSMEs also will get the money and they will do the business. Now government has revised that we are going to guarantee up to 10 crores. You give the money up to 10 crores to the MSMEs. We will give you if they default the money. So now it is encouraging banks to give more loans to the MSMEs. So that's how the MSMEs can grow. And also, government specifically also going to support startups. Earlier, government was supporting up to 10 crores guarantee for the banks and financial institutions to give the loans to startup. Now, government is saying that we are going to support 20 crores. If they are defaulting up to 20 crores, we will support you. So it is encouraging indirectly the startups as well as the banks so that we can push the economy, right? And then exporter MSMEs, whatever MSMEs which are specifically working on exports. So this loans up to 20 crore will be guaranteed. So you give loans to the export MSMEs, we are guarantee up to 20 crore. So no, nothing to worry. So this is to push the work nature of startups as well as export MSMEs specifically, right? Now government is going to classify the criteria for MSMEs. Now why this classification? I'm sorry. So based on this, based on the criteria, the benefits will be given to the micro, small, and medium enterprises. Currently, the micro enterprises are defined until their investment is 1 crore. Until the investment is 1 crore, they are categorized as a micro. And their turnover, what is the difference between turnover and investment? Can anyone tell me in the comment section or even the voice message also? What is the difference between investment and turnover and profit as well? See, these are all basics. When you are preparing, you should be clear with the concept, then only you will be able to handle it. Yes, Soumya has answered. Turnover is the total money that earned, revenue generated. It is not a profit because out of the total money, government need to give salaries, government need to do expenditure in buying the things. So profit is turnover minus expenditure, right? Turnover is the total revenue generated, but we have expenses for a company to give salaries, expenditure, and all. So if you remove expenditure, expenses of the company from turnover, you will get the profit, right? Investment is what the money we are putting in. Correct, correct. So most of you candidates have answered. So here, the micro enterprises until investment of 1 crore, they are considered as a micro enterprises until now. But now government is going to expand the base. That is, until 2.5 crore investment are there, you will be considered as a micro enterprises. You will can get avail credit cards, which we were talking about few slides before, and whatever the benefits are there in Mudra scheme and all. And their turnover earlier they were considered as a 5 crore, but now it will be revised to 10 crore. Okay. So government is going to consider micro enterprises until their turnover is 10 crore. Same small enterprises, earlier it was considered as an investment of 10 crore, but now it is 25. And the revised turnover limit is 100 crore. And medium enterprises, earlier investment is up to 50 crore, but now it is 125 crore. And the total turnover is 500 crore. So 2.5, 25, 125. It is a very good figure to remember. 2.5, 25, 125, and 10, 100, 500. So 10 times are 100 fives are. So this also is a good figure. So you can easily remember these two things, the revised ones. Last year there was a question, last or last to last year, there was a question on MSME's criteria in UPSC. You might be aware, most of you might have given the attempt also, right? So this is about the MSME's new classification. Then very generic one, I'm going through very quickly. You can see here, just a second. Yeah, you can see here investing in people and innovation. So this is the agriculture, rural MSMEs. After that, this is investment. We have four engines. That is, what are the four engines? Agriculture, then we have MSMEs, exports and investments. So in the investments, government said that they are going to do all these things. I'm quickly going through it. You all know these things if you have followed current affairs. Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0 to focus on nutrition. Expansion of capacity of IIT seats. That means the number of seats will be increased. Until cabinet approve, nothing is guaranteed. It's just a proposition. Daycare cancer centers. Now you know cancer is a very big thing. It is very expensive thing, and poor people were not able to afford. Now government is going to take up day care cancer centers in all centers. That means they will work in the daytimes from morning 10 to evening 6. Government in all district hospitals is going to start daycare cancer centers. Then government is going to come up with Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme. Government is going to come up with the Bhasha Pustak scheme, providing digital, books. Now, currently, we are having books only in form of English or maybe Hindi also, but not in the local languages. Most of the central universities, but government is going to digitalize and specifically higher education in all languages, right? And government is going to set up 5 national centers of excellence for skilling. Yes, so we were discussing about one of the lackings that we don't have the skill sets that is required. So government to enhance the skill sets is going to launch 5 national centers for excellence for skilling, right? And also Atal Tinkering Labs. If any one of your parents are involved in the schools, you might be aware that most of the Atal Tinkering Labs that are focused were on private schools. That means to nurture innovation since childhood itself, entrepreneurship and innovation, government has come up with Niti Aayog specifically. Atal Innovation Mission has launched. So they are establishing Atal Tinkering Labs with 5 lakhs. They are giving 5 lakh rupees to each school to establish labs so that practical knowledge is gained. But now government is aiming to create such labs in the government schools itself. 50,000 labs will be set up in the all government schools in the next 5 years. So government is pushing Atal Tinkering Labs in government schools now. Then Center of Excellence in Artificial Intelligence for education with the total outlay of 500 crores. So government is coming up with new, institution for artificial intelligence, because recently there was a news of DeepSeek of Chinese, which is competing with OpenAI and Gemini of Google. So India also want to push this, and you know what happens? It is not 1 year, 2 year, but it will take 500 years. If we That's how the Indian government works, right? Not only I'm talking about governments, like a lot of political things are there. Anyway, this is the target that they want to compete with other countries in artificial intelligence. Then broadband connectivity to be provided in all government secondary and primary schools as well as health centers. Internet for everyone, right? Article 21A, they want to give all the internet to everyone. Then expansion of medical seats, 10,000 additional seats will be created with a goal of adding 75,000 in the 5 years. So next 1 year, government is going to add 10,000 seats in the medical field, but in the 5 years, it will be 75. And we have PM Swanidhi, during COVID, especially once the close down of, once the economy opened up, they have pushed to take 10,000 rupees loan for the street vendors. Like in the on the roadside, you might have seen a lot of people selling fruits and other things. So government want to push beyond that, more than 10,000. Government want to give more, loans for the street vendors. Then welfare of platform workers. Platform workers means who works through the internet platform like Swiggy, Zomato, Uber and all. So government want to give social security through Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So these were some propositions to invest in the people. Next, any doubts till now? I'm not asking too many questions because these are all propositions. Next, after 4 or 5 slides, we will have a good trends. There, I'll ask you more questions, so be active there. Fine. Let's go quickly. Still investing part we are in. Government is going to give, government is going to give 1.5 lakh crore rupees to the states, all states together. You spend, create assets. You don't give interest also. You pay this 1.5 lakh crores that is given to all the states together. You pay us in a proper regular manner, but we don't even want any interest. You please create assets, because most of the state governments, what they are doing, they are focusing on welfare schemes because they want to win the elections. But government itself is giving extra money to push, to put capital expenditure. Okay. Then government is going to come up with asset monetization plan. What is asset monetization? We have lot of government assets, like land we have, buildings we have, which are very idle. We are not, government did not even give any rented form. Government can give the lands, their lands, buildings to as in form of rents, and they can collect lot of revenue, and this revenue can be put on capital expenditure or maybe welfare schemes also. So government, whatever the assets are there, government is going to monetize up to 10 lakh crores in the new projects. They are going to give, and they want to collect the money, right? And then Jal Jeevan Mission, they want to achieve 100% coverage of piped drinking water by 2028. They have put target as 2024, but still not able to achieve. But yes, we have a good achievement compared to like 2014. Before 2014, actually we are doing very good. We have a numbers. I'm not affiliated to any political thing, but we have a practical numbers that after 2014 we are doing very good in drinking water supply. I'm not talking about all sectors, but in drinking water supply, piped drinking specifically, we have achieved a very good thing since 2014 after formation of NDA government. Okay, in this aspect, we have to admire this. Then we have Urban Challenge Fund. Government is going to create 1 lakh crore fund to push cities to achieve the sustainable development. Cities as growth hubs, green development. So basically, they want to promote urban development through Urban Challenge Fund in terms of infrastructure, and of course, keeping in mind the sanitation, green growth, everything. Fine. Then power sector reforms. We have discoms, we have gencos. See, we have a sequence of electric institutions, that is gencos, which generate the electricity, and then we have transcos which transport, and then discoms which distribute. So these three institutions are very important, right? Gencos, transcos, and discoms. These are the three institutions which work in a synchronity to distribute electricity from the point it generation to the household. These three institutions are not performing well in most of the states. So that's why government want to uh, tell the states, because electricity is a subject which is in part of a concurrent list. So states as well as center has the power to do these things, but central government did not interfere much in concurrent list also, except it is national interest. So anyway, states are very lagging in the power sector reforms. So here, what central government is doing, government is allowing states, you take extra 0.5% of your gross state, domestic product, GSDP. You take extra loans from market, or because see, there was a question which is part of polity. If some obligation, if some state is having obligation to the center in paying of money, they have to take permission to take certain loans from international markets and also from domestic markets. So most of the states have the obligation to the center. So that's why central government is giving permission that you take 0.5% of total your GSDP in terms of loans and bring reforms in this transcos, gencos, or discoms. This is what government want to push. Then government is going to develop maritime development fund with a corpus of 25,000 crore to promote maritime sector. Okay, and out of this 25,000 crore, 49% is going to be contributed by the center. Then rest of the money will be pooled from states as well as the private sector. Then government is going to create greenfield airports, financial support of Western Kosi Canal, which is Kosi is called as a Saro of Bihar. You might be aware about these things, right? Yeah. So Again, Bihar was mentioned, you know why. Then we have a nuclear energy mission for Vikshit Bharat. So currently, the nuclear energy is restricted for private sector because it is a interest of the country, right? So that's why nuclear energy mission government is going to come up with the amendments to civil liabilities for nuclear damage act. So I have given this question in today's current affairs daily quiz also. If you have solved, because yesterday there was a mention of these things, so I have taken one question from out of it. So please do daily solve the daily quizzes. I'm sure I'll point after the prelims also from where the questions comes. I'm creating the all the questions every day. I myself in the early morning itself, mostly if I'm having offline class here in my academy, I'm creating in the evening. But try to solve the daily questions because I'm taking directly which was not covered in most of the institutions. It will really give you good score in prelims. If you are lagging, try to solve a daily one or two every day. Okay. Anyway, coming back to this, government is going to give keep certain changes, bring certain changes where they are going to allow the private sector investments into the nuclear energy. So privatization is going to take place even in the nuclear energy, right? So that is the thing. And then we have Swami Fund version 2. Version 1 is over. Anyway, we were not able to achieve. So government is going to create 15,000 crores and government want to enable creation of households, the construction of household, housing for all, right? So Swami Fund was created to encourage the creation of small houses for everyone, right? In the urban spaces specifically. So government is going to come up with the 15,000 crore where, see, this money is not government directly investing. Someone, when some banks can take money from this fund and then they can give loans to the public as a home loans. Government itself will not directly give money to the public. Never. It is only through the banks or some intermediary organizations. Okay, keep that in mind. And then Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagarik, which again I created a question in today's quiz. So Udan scheme government is going to encourage to create 120 new destination carrying 4 crore passengers in the next 10 years. So government is going to expand this by touching all the tier 2 cities or towns, we can say, in the next 10 years. Fine. And a very good boost we got in the tourism sector. It is a very good step by the government. We should be very happy for it because tourism, we have a good potential. Government is going to select 50 tourist destination sites. We have Prasad scheme, we have heritage scheme. Still, we were not able to achieve the tourism, potential tourism contribution. So top 50 destination will be selected and then government will be focusing more on development of these 50 sites with the help of the states. Now, government is also going to come up with the e-visa facility. That means no, foreigners no need to reach the regional diplomatic offices, the embassies. No need to stand in the line. So everything is going to be online, specifically for certain countries, not for Pakistan or Bangladesh people. Okay. So e-visa facility we are going to give for advanced countries which are friendly to us. Then government is going to create a skill development also for youth. It is just a proposition. We have to see how they do. Then performance linked incentives to states. If some states are performing well, government is going to give them incentives, more money. Mudra loans for homestays. So homestays were not getting mudra loans till now. Now government is going to provide mudra loans for homestays so that they can invest more on homestays and hostings. Right? Then ease of travel and connectivity to tourist destinations. These are very generic in nature. Government want to encourage the tourism. Fine. Still investing. PM Research Fellowship. It is going to provide fellowship for the research scholars. Some doubt. Let me check. See, Maritime Development Fund will be obviously for coastal states, right? So Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, they cannot take, money out of it because they don't have coast. It is specifically to coastal states, obviously. Okay, right. PM Research Fellowship thing, they are going to give scholarship money so that they encourage research, right? Because we are lagging in research. Fine. Government is also going to create gene bank, second gene bank. Can anyone tell me where is the first gene bank of India? Can anyone tell me where is the first Gene Bank of India. Janvi, see, mostly questions will not be asked from unapproved budget. Okay, it is just a propositions, but you know, in the next coming 1 or 2 months, cabinet is going to approve many of the things. Every year it happens. So anyway, have an idea, especially for mains, even if it is a proposition stage. In the mains, they are asking what are the components of budget, what are the major initiatives it's been there. Anyone tell me first, Gene Bank? No, not Delhi. Yes, Hyderabad. Good. So we have it in ICRISAT, right? ICRISAT institution has kept the first gene bank. Now the second gene bank they are going to establish, but where they are going to establish, they haven't tell. So here 10 lakh germplasm lines, new seeds are going to be generated so that they can store and we can use for the future purposes, right? So it is going to be created where we never know, we have to wait. Then we have a Gyan Bharat mission. We have a lot of manuscripts which were written by since Vedic times, even before Vedic times, Puranas. We have a lot of documents which were in a stage of degradation. That means it's very difficult to comprehend or read those things. We are not even aware. Anyone have read any manuscript? Mostly no. So government is going to digitalize 1 crore manuscripts so that everyone will come to know about our rich heritage of manuscripts, what they have written, about our measures, all these things. Okay, right. That is the Gyan Bharat mission. Then we have research and development allocation. Government is going to allocate 20,000 crore for private sector. This is not required for exam. These micro levels UPSC is not asked in the prelims, but yes, for mains you can mention this. Government is going to allocate 20,000 crore for research and development initiatives. Then national geospatial mission, government is going to bring the national, already geospatial mission is there, going to expand it. Can anyone tell me what is geospatial? Geospatial means the data collected by the satellites related to the earth. Any geo means earth and spatial means from space. So whatever the data that is collected about earth, that is called as geospatial, right? So government is going to promote the data driven using PM Gati Shakti scheme. Lot of other schemes are there, going to encourage the data driven initiative. So this is what they have mentioned. We have to see what they will do. Then we have promoting exports. So we have come up with the last engine now. Government is going to encourage export promotion mission. They are going to come up with the new export promotion mission. So in this, government want to facilitate. See, whoever MSMEs are there who are focused on export specifically, like mangoes, all those things. Government is going to easily facilitate the assent. I mean, the whatever the rules regulation that they need to follow, government want to speed up this process of giving permissions to export. This is what export promotion mission will focus. Then we have Bharat Trade Net. Government is going to establish a unified platform. See, if you want to export some goods to other countries, we need to search a lot of website, a lot of permissions need to be taken. So government want to bring a single place, single website, single app, that is Bharat Trade Net, where all the permissions, all the things that you need to take will be taken at a single place. That is a Bharat Trade Net, right? So that they can integrate with the global supply chains with a very easy manner. Then we have national framework for global capability centers, where government is going to establish tier 2 cities. So most of the export centers, all these things are located in the cities, metropolitan. Now government want to encourage to create a capability centers at the tier 2 cities so that exports will be widely opened up. And also warehouse facilities specifically for air cargo. So we are lacking warehouse. That means the where we can store the goods. So government want to encourage that also. Did not mention what is the money, how they are going to take up. Then next one is about financial sector reforms. Any doubt? Interim budget not required now, Janvi, because interim budget was last year when the elections was there. Not required at all because already new budget is available. If UPSC asks from old budget, that will be of data, the trend that we are going to discuss in the next coming slides. Okay, I'll show you how it is going. Yes, let's move ahead. Government is going to create Grameen credit score. You must be aware about self-help groups. That means in rural areas, people will not have too much money. So they will even pool 1,000 rupees. So 1,000 rupees by 100 people. So they can pool around 1 lakh rupees and they can invest in papad or BD, whatever they want to. But these SHGs are still in lagging. That means they are not developed as we have focused. Now, government want to come up with a Grameen credit score framework so that how we can meet the needs of the credit needs of the self-help groups through help of the banks. So through this score, whoever are performing well, whatever SHG is performing well, they will be given continuous loan support and all, right? So they will ask you this maybe in exam, Grameen credit code score that was launched for what purpose? To encourage the credit needs of the self-help groups. That is one thing. Next one, NABFID, that is National Bank for Finance of Infrastructure and Development. Now tell me, what are corporate bonds? Here I am discussing the financial market also. So we got a concept from financial markets, especially the long term one, right? So tell me, what is corporate bond? Capital markets. Basically, corporate bonds are part of capital markets. Not we have short term money market instruments also. Tell me, what is corporate bond? Tell me in voice message, unmute yourself. It takes a lot of time to type the message. If anyone aware about corporate bonds,
So to raise the funds, corporates are going to issue certain bonds,
huh,
maybe to
right.
expand their business or sorts.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So see how government is meeting their needs. Government will release the treasury bills, which are short term, 91 days, 182, and 364 days, or government will go for dated securities or long term GSECs. Government can release for the funds. The same way, corporates are also will release lot of funds so that you give us money now. I'm giving you bond. After maturity period, I'll pay you along with the interest. So they will use this money in investments. They will run the business, they will earn profit and they will pay back. But what happens, most of the people won't trust corporate bonds, right? We trust in government bonds because we know even if they are giving less returns, they are safe. So government is going to set up a partial credit enhancement facility for corporate bonds, so where it is going to guarantee whoever, like we are the guarantee for the public. So through the banks, through NABFID actually, we are going to guarantee you buy the bond of from the TCS, Infos, whatever corporate bond, you buy it. If they are not paying in the future, if they fail to pay, we will be guaranteeing, right? So this is what government is saying to encourage the corporate bonds. Next, government is going to come up with the revamped KYC registry. Know your customer. Yes, know your customer. So here we currently we need to do KYC norms in Amazon, payment, Paytm or bank. In most wherever we go, we need to give KYC norms, and we are skeptical that our data may be collected. So that's why government itself is going to come up with the KYC registry where everything will be registered with the center. So the government, so that we are confident to share and it will be benefiting the companies also using the data. Okay, and then mergers will be speeden up. The merging of two companies will be much faster, so ease of doing business they want to increase. And FDI limit in insurance is going to increase from 74 to 100%. This is really a bold step actually. Usually insurance, insurance sector is a little bit riskier and volatile one, but anyway government is now is taking a very strong step that they want to allow 100% FDI in insurance sector. This is also government has taken. And here this slide is not very much relevant. I'm going through quickly. Government is going to come up with the what you call some reforms. The high level committee for regulatory reforms. They are going to appoint some committee to know the tax reforms. That's fine. No need to worry. Investment friendly index for states. Government is going to come up with the investment friendly index, new index. So we have a financial health index, we have health index by Niti Aayog. Same way, government want to bring the investment friendly index. Let's see what they will do. Then FSDC mechanism, fiscal, some council is there. I'm not remembering the full form. Financial Sector and Development Council, yes, FSDC, headed by Ministry of Finance. So this committee said, they said that it's the mechanism will be expanded to check the financial sector health. But anyway, this we have to see how they are going to do. Not clear what they have mentioned. Then Jan Vishwas Bill. A lot of we have come up with the Vishwas Bill 1.0, because lot of cases are litigated in terms of corporate tax, income tax litigation. There is a lot of criminal cases been on the companies, so many of the companies are not ready to invest more. So government want to bring this to simplify, and they want to decriminalize most of the provisions. 100 provision they want to decriminalize. So this is also one more important step. And now we are coming to the indirect taxes. Government is going to remove 7 tariff rates. This is for sure Trump effect only. Else they would have not taken this measure. So government want to reduce tariff rates. That means whatever the imports that we are getting, or some exports also, mostly imports only. So government is going to remove 7 import rates on most of the goods, and specifically for sure these 7 they have not clearly mentioned. Next few days they are going to mention, especially after April 1, that whatever USA is exporting to us, mostly those will be reduced to satisfy the Trump. Okay. Then apply not more than one cess or surcharge. What is the difference between cess and surcharge? Anyone? What is the difference between cess and surcharge?
Sir, cess is usually levied on a very specific purpose
Hmm.
and they cannot use it for any other purpose.
Right.
Whereas surcharge is something like tax on tax.
Correct. Yes. Both are tax on tax, but whatever the money that is collected, cess, that will be have to be used for specific purposes. And surcharge they can use for any purpose. They can collect money, but they can use for any purpose. And cess and surcharge does not forms part of the divisible pool. That means this money that is collected will not be given to states. Unlike the tax, we are sharing around 41%, 41 or 43, I'm not sure. Finance committee, I think it's 41 only. Finance Commission recommendation, we have to share, the center has to share taxes with the states. But anyway, cess and surcharge, not no need to share. That's what the Karnataka and Kerala is, governments are trying in recent times, that cess has to be reduced, right? And then apply equivalent cess. See, lot of cess is different. We have petroleum, we have cess on petroleum, we have cess in the education, we have cess of agriculture. There are a lot of things to be collected. So government want to uniformly make this possible. Okay, we have to see what they will do. Then a few more sector specific proposals were given, that is make in India. So make in India means they are encouraging indigenization of manufacturing. Now here you can see that exemption to open cell for LED LCD. Can anyone tell me what is open cell? What is open cell? If someone is from electrical engineering background, electrical or electronic engineering background, you must know about open cell. Open cell is a raw material used in the LED and LCD TVs. That is the main one. But now we are having a lot of tax on it if we are importing, because India does not have too much manufacturing of open cells. But we are importing a lot. But of course, it is a raw material only, right? Government can encourage it. So government is going to exempt the tax on import of open cell, because we are going to manufacturing the LCD and LED, right? That is also a good step. And then looms means the machines used for textiles. Those machines imports are also going to be reduced, the tax will be reduced. And then lithium ion batteries, which are used in mobiles, electric vehicles and all, whatever imports we are going to do, government is not going to collect much tax. That's what they are saying. Then promotion of MRO means maintenance, repair and overhaul of ships. Let's say now we need some instruments to repair the ships, and whatever the instrument that is required, we India does not manufacture. So that's why what we are doing, we are importing whatever the ship industry people are there, they are importing the instrument that required for repair from other countries. But government is limiting it, that you can only import for 3 years, 4 years, not beyond, because imports are always discouraged. Now government want to open up this, they want to enable up to 10 years. If you are importing any goods of repairs related thing. Until 10 years you use them, we are not going to collect any tax. So this is what they have opened up. This is also good thing only anyway. Export promotion, so duty free inputs for handicrafts and leather sectors. So whatever the handicrafts and leather related inputs, raw material, they are going to be exempted, right? So and also government is going to promote exports from these things. Then we have a trade facilitation, a time limit fixed for finalization and provisional assessment of new provisions for voluntary. Okay, let's understand this with one example. Let's say if Apple is there, Apple company or Microsoft company, there are they have base, the main base is USA, and their base of other bases including China, India, it is also have in India. So what usually these companies do, they will evade tax by saying that this is the same company of us, we can transfer the good from our branch only but to other branch. But uh, at the international, especially OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, we have a lot of tax agreements. So under that, it is mandatory that if one country, I mean, if one company is sending the goods of their branch in other country, they have to consider as a two different companies. So let's say Microsoft in USA is sending some goods to Microsoft in India. So it should be considered as a different, uh, you know, company. These two branches has to be considered as two different companies, so that government can collect the taxes when they are transferring these things. So now government, I mean these companies every year they have they have to register that this is the rates that we are sending to other company, that is their own branch. But now government is going to extend up to 5 years. Okay, and here there is one more thing in this same trade facilitation. Understand this also. I am discussing two things here. One is arm's length price and the trade facilitation. Let me give you clarity on these two aspects. First, when a company is sending goods to other country, if you have any doubts, please do let me know. I'll explain again now. Then we can discuss this. If a company is sending goods to other country, there are loopholes in the tax structure. That exact tax amount, how much tax to be charged, is not clear for the government customs department. So what they will do, first they will allow to transfer the goods from one company to other company, and later they will decide how much they have to pay, right? In future they may tell you 5 15%, 20% and all. Then companies are at loss, right? So that's why now government is saying that within 1 year you have to clear this. Earlier it was 3 years, 4 years, until the, if government says that 20%, custom office has said that you have to pay 20%. Now company will reach out to the court that they have charged 20%. So this kept on dragging. Now what government is doing, whatever the trade exchange happened, the taxes, the custom duty, the I mean customs office has to collect the tax within 1 year. If required, then we will extend 6 more months, right? So why this is doing? So this will reduce the litigation and it will promote the trade, right? So this is what the mean of this whole paragraph. Is this clear? This is little bit complex, so tell me if it is clear, or else I'll explain. Anyone? If there is no message, it means it is clear. Okay. Okay, I'm repeating again, Mandara. See, let's say there is a company A in India, there is a company B in USA. So company A is sending goods to company B in USA. When they are sending the goods, the custom department which collects the custom tax. What is custom tax? Whenever you are doing imports and exports, there will be a charge on it. So custom department says that we are not clear with the tax how much to be collected because there are some loopholes. So right now you send the goods from company A to company B in very other, I mean, in different country, you send the goods. In future, we will say how much tax you need to pay, right? So after that, what happens? After like few months, the custom department will say that yes, we have assessed your tax. It is around 25%. But 25% is a huge for a company A. So what company A will do? They will reach out to the court. Okay. Yeah. We'll come to that point. So company A have to pay a lot of taxes for the government. 25% is a huge. So this delays this litigation and the trade will decrease. The companies will not be interested that Indian custom department is very hectic. So we won't be able to do business in India. That's why now government is saying that within 1 year you have to decide. For the custom department, it is giving a guideline that you have to complete this percentage of tax within 1 year. You cannot drag more than 3 years, 4 years. The average time that is clearing currently is around 3 years, but they are saying that they will clear within 1 year. So the trade, ease of trade will happen. The companies will also be ready to come to India. This is what meaning of this. But this tax benefit would be only, yes, only under direct tax avoidance agreement signed countries only. Most of the countries, friendly countries, we have signed a DTAA under OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So yes, only for those countries. Correct, right? Yeah. Moving ahead, government is going to reduce the import duties on 36 life saving drugs. They did not mention. Even if they mention, that is not required for our exam anyway. 6 medicines has reduced to tax duty of 5%. 37 medicine and 13 new patient drugs are exempted. This is not required for exam, don't worry. In case of mains, what measures government has taken, there may be some question there, you can mention them. For prelims, it is not required. This much silly things UPSC will not ask. Moving to the last part of our first part of budget. After that, we have more important things to discuss. Arm's length price at the international transaction. See, arm's length price means, I was discussing, I confused a little bit and I was discussing in the previous slide. Arm's length price means the same company which is having a branch in other country is a considered as a different company under DTAA. So that these prices will be decided. Currently, the let me explain you. So company A, let's say Microsoft is there, and say Microsoft is there in India. When they are sending the goods from USA to India, they say that it is our goods only, we are transferring for our own purpose. We are not selling to anyone, it is our own purpose. But in this process, there is a lot of discrepancies done by companies. They will manipulate the prices and they will benefit a lot. They can give this as a very cheaper and they can generate more income. So it will reduce competitiveness with other uh, companies in India. Let's say Infosys, TCS may not benefit because the goods of foreign country which is producing the goods for less cost, so those goods may be preferred by Indians. That's why what the government do, you have to consider this as a different company even though if it is your branch. So this price which is decided when they are exchanging the goods from US Microsoft to the Indian branch is called as arm's length price. And this transaction price is usually taken lot of time. The cost of goods is determined for a longer period. Now it is fixed at 3 years. Within 3 years, you will be fixed the prices. So for 3 years, once the price is fixed, you no need to change. For every year, you no need to take permission. Earlier, they used to take for one. Every year, they need to send the prices, quote of the prices. Now, if you decide these prices that you are sending from your USA to India, the price of those goods will be renewed only after 3 years. So that means it is easy to take permissions, right? That is the arm's length price. Arm's length price means those price of goods which the company is sending the goods of their own from one country to other country. They have to decide this price every year and say to the government. But now it is being extended to the 3 years. Is this clear? Okay. Next one, expansion of safe harbor rules. See, there is a lot of fines, litigations of between the companies and the government. So now what government is doing, if you follow basic rules, we are giving you 5 rules. Let's say 5 rules we are giving. If you are following these 5 rules, we are not going to uh, put you in any litigation. Those basic rules which companies has to satisfy to avoid any litigation is known as safe harbor rules. Is this clear? Should I repeat? Safe harbor rules are the basic rules that if company follows, there won't be any litigation from the government of India. Those are called as the safe harbor rules. So now the safe harbor rules are going to be expanded, right? So to make it more easy, less discretion for the government. So they are going to give specifically in it. Is this clear until now? Please do respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. So now the tax structure, the personal tax structure, many of the people have a very confusion in this. If I am earning, let's say my salary is 15 lakhs per annum, I won't be charged 15% of 15 lakhs. This is not how income tax is charged. I am having, say, let's say 15 lakh per annum with my academy. Uh, I need not pay any income tax for the first 4 lakhs. So out of 15 lakhs, 4 lakhs I no need to pay any tax. Now I am left with 11 lakhs. Out of 11 lakhs, whatever my income from 4 to 8 lakhs will be charged with 5%. Now still I am left with 7 more lakhs. 5% I have already paid nil for my 0 to 4 lakhs. Then 8 to 12 lakhs, the 4 lakhs bracket, I have to pay 10%. Then I am left with 3 lakhs more. That is my package is 15. So this 3 lakhs, 15% of these 3 lakhs I have to pay. This is how income tax to be paid. It is not 15% of my 15 lakhs. That will be too much high. Is this clear? This is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now you can see the tax bracket 0 to 4 lakhs, this is nil, and 4 to 8 lakhs 5%, 8 to 12 lakhs 10%, 12 to 16 lakhs 15%, 16 to 20 lakhs 20%, 25 25% for 20 to 24 lakhs, and more than 24 lakhs then it is 30%. Okay. Now here also there is a lot of misinformation is going on that tax is completely exempted for 12 lakhs. Yes, actually it is up to 12 lakhs, there will not be any tax, but you should not claim any tax rebates. Let's say if I have taken home loan, currently up to 1.5 lakhs in an annum is exempted. So I can get my 1.5 lakhs exempted from tax. So if I am not claiming any tax rebates, if I don't file any tax returns, then only up to 12 lakhs, the government is giving exemption. If you are not taking any exemptions, okay, up to 12 lakhs, you don't pay any income tax. This is what. But most of the people will claim obviously loans, all these things, exemptions. So that's why they can go with the old regime or new regime. Okay. That is about the thing. Next, we have a TDS and TCS, tax collection at source, or tax deduction at source. See, many again candidates confuse between TDS and income tax. TDS is collected every month from the person, salaried person, by the employee, whoever has employed the person, and they will send money to the government. Can anyone tell me what is the reason? Government is already taking income tax at the end, but why they are collecting TDS? Can anyone tell me? Why TDS is being collected, even though income tax can be collected anywhere at the end of the financial year? TDS. Any voice note message? Okay, fine. Let me explain. So, see, why TDS is collected, because first thing, they cannot escape from tax net. From the beginning itself, from April 1 financial start, every month from your salary, TDS will be collected so that you won't be exempted from tax. Somehow you may escape from the tax, but when it is collecting 10% out of your salary, you are not evading the tax. You cannot escape from the government, because government is not collecting from you, but rather directly collecting from your employee itself in the beginning. That is one reason. Second reason is government can get money regularly. Government no need to wait until the end of the financial year. Government can collect the tax in the beginning itself. So government also generating resources from the beginning of every month itself, right? So this is called as the TDS. Now, the senior citizens, whatever the pensions that they are getting, let's say I'm a senior citizen, I'm getting 2 lakhs as a pension in the year. Up to 50,000, no tax is collected. Only for next 1.5 lakhs that I'm earning, the tax is getting collected. Because see, pension is a very less thing which I'm telling you. The before 2004, we have a pension scheme where half of the salary is given. Let's say I'm retired at 2 lakh salary at the end of 60 year. So I'm getting 1 lakh per month. So 12 lakhs I'm earning as a pension in a year, which is a big thing, right? So up to 50,000, there is no tax collected from the pension earlier. But now government has said that up to 1 lakh, we are not going to collect any tax from you, from your pension. So it has increased the TDS limit, tax deduction limit, right? And then the TDS of rent also. Let's say there are two people, I am A and other person is B. The person who is residing in my home, I am collecting 30,000 as rent. You know, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, we have 30, 40,000 rent for 3 BHK. So it is not a small amount. Let's say 30,000 the person is paying to me. 12 3 is a 36,000, 36, 3,60,000. Every year I am collecting 3,60,000 from the person. So annual limit was 2.4. Until I collect 2.4, I no need to pay any tax to the government. But now, if I am collecting, as I am collecting 3.6, so I need to reduce some TDS and send it to the government. It will be linked to the PAN card anyway, right? But now government is saying that up to 6 lakhs rent that you collect from your persons who are residing in your home, we are not going to ask you any TDS. So which is a very big thing actually, because the rents also increase obviously. Okay. I myself is paying more than 30,000 as rent here in Hyderabad. Okay. They are have increased this TDS limit up to 6 lakhs. No need to pay any TDS. Fine. Yes. Then voluntary compliance, very generic thing. Whoever have a tax filing, so it is a voluntary in nature. There is nothing to remember as such. Here there is a reduced compliance for small charitable trusts. Okay. So earlier the charitable trust, whatever the money they are receiving, they have to register for every 5 years. But now it was extended for 10 years. That means there is a some less relaxation, that no need to register for every 5 years. Okay. And then taxpayers are allowed to claim annual value of two self-occupied properties. See, currently, if I am buying a home, new home, and it is not given for rent, right? So only one it is allowed. For other, if I buy one more extra property, I need to pay a wealth tax, house tax for it. But now until two houses, I am exempted, that I can buy, and basic rent I can collect. So government is not going to ask me anything. Okay. Then employment and investment, there are some measures, tax certainty in electronic. They are saying that we will be genuine, there will be clear mentioning of all the tax. Then tonnage tax on inland vessels. That means we have national waterways 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the rivers. So earlier the tax was collected based on profit earned by the vessels. But now they are going to collect the tax based on the weightage. So this reduced burden on the inland vessels, because the tonnage, let's say if you can keep 10 cages of thing in a small place, the carriage, so they are collecting less, because the weight they are collecting, not on the cost. Some goods which are less weight will be more cost. Let's say mobiles, the just 200 300 gram mobile will be 60 thousand rupees also. So now government is going to collect based on the weight, not on the monetary thing. Okay. Specific benefits for ship leasing units. So this is very normal thing. Alternate investment funds. These are very general thing. No need to remember. We have to see when the government proposed. Is this clear until now? Because now we are moving to the actual important part, the trends. Here I'll be asking you more questions. Is this clear until now? Okay. Now let's move to the government finances, which is very, very important from now itself. Be very attentive. Even if there is a small doubt, please do let me know. I'm here to assist you, okay? Not just to complete the lecture. That's why I'm taking time, even though it is like we'll complete in 20-25 minutes. But this is most important, and certainly you will see a lot of questions from it. First one, as I said, the receipts. That means from where government is receiving money. It includes borrowings also. It is not revenue I'm talking about. I'm talking about the receipt. So out of the total receipt, 24% that government is receiving is a borrowing and other liabilities only. That means which we need to pay back, right? So borrowings and other liabilities. That is, this is part of the capital receipt basically. So most of the rupee that we are getting is in form of borrowings and other liabilities, 24%. Then we have income tax, 22%. Whatever the government receipts. Are you getting my point? Please confirm it. Are you getting the what is receipts? I'm not talking about revenue. Okay, great, great. Yeah. So out of the total receipts, it is borrowings and other liabilities itself which need to pay back. Then we have 22% receipt of receipts is from income tax, which is a good sign, salaried employees. Then we have GST and other taxes. We have beyond GST, we have taxes on petroleum, electricity tax is there, excise duty is there. Oh, excise duty is considered separately. Anyway, custom duty is also considered separately. Okay. GST and other taxes, whatever extra is there, it is 18%. Then corporate tax that is collected from the companies, 17%. And then we have excise duty. What is excise duty? Tell me, what is excise duty and custom duty? Yes, income tax and corporate tax both are direct taxes because there is no intermediary to collect. It is directly being collected by the government itself. Yes, both are direct tax. Now tell me, what is the what question I have was? Hi, what is the difference between excise duty and custom custom duties? Anyone?
Excise duty is levied on manufactured goods and custom duty is levied on import and export goods.
Exactly right. So excise duty is on your production, right? So how whatever the goods, it's like a how many whatever the goods that you produce, you need to pay tax for the government. So that is called as excise duty. And custom duty is collected for import and export, both, not just export. It is import and export. Whatever the tax levied, that is custom duty. Okay, that is 4%. Then we have non-tax receipts. Non-tax receipts means money that is collected beyond tax, like fees, stamp duties. Whenever you are transacting the land, you are selling land, you need to pay fee for the government. So beyond taxes, there are certain money that government takes. Those parts of the non-tax receipts. You can go through the static part. It takes a lot of time to explain. Okay. Then we have non-debt capital receipts. What are non-debt capital receipts? Anyone? Non-debt capital receipts.
Money that government receives with selling assets.
Right. Disinvestment. Yes, good. So, non-debt capital receipt means like Air India, whatever the government assets are there, it is selling off. It is not creating any debt on government. No need to pay back to anyone. But it is losing asset. So that's why it is part of capital receipts. So non-debt capital receipt is just 1%. Okay. So this is what government is receiving money. And now where rupee is going? The expenditure. They have given the expenditure distribution also. Most of the expenditure is going to state shares of taxes and duties. That is devolution. Whatever the finance commission is recommending for every 5 years, 41% of the total government taxes is going to all the states. So this is the major share from center to states in the distribution of taxes duties which central government is sharing with the states. That is the highest. Then we have interest payments. That means whatever the government has taken loans in the last years, few years, 5 years, 10 years before, every year we are paying 20% of total expenditure to the paying interest itself for the loans that we have taken way back, right? So remember, from high to low, even the past one also, high to low. Highest is borrowings and other liabilities. Then we have income tax, then we have GST, then we have corporate tax. Okay. Here the highest money is going for state share of taxes. Then we are paying for payment interest payments. Then we are giving central sector scheme. What is difference between central sector scheme and central sponsor scheme? Anyone? Central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. See, whatever these numbers that we are discussing is very, very important, even beyond the budget. These numbers you have to know even for your interview also. Now we are conducting a lot of mock interviews. They have reached till interview, but still not able to say the direct tax is more than indirect tax. Many candidates, when we asked in the mock interview, you have to have a basic idea, not only for prelims mains, but also, especially in GS paper 3 mains also, they are getting less scores because you don't have numbers. Yes, central sector scheme is 100% funded by the central government, and centrally sponsored schemes only 60% for certain states and 90% for special category states of border northeast region. Okay, so central sector scheme, government is giving 16% of total expenditure is going to central sector schemes. Then centrally sponsored scheme 8%. Then finance commission and other transfers. See, finance commission recommends devolution. That is different. Out of the total taxes collected, central government has to share some money to the states. That is devolution. There is also finance commission recommendation for local bodies, disaster management. That also government recommend. I mean, finance commission recommend to the government. That is of 8%. Then defense expenditure 8%, and subsidies, especially we have urea subsidy, we have food subsidies. Those subsidies we are spending 6%, which is a huge number. Out of 50 lakh crore, what is the budget of India? The total budget is 50 lakh crore. Out of that, we are giving 6% as a major subsidies. So not even for education health we are spending this 6%. What is the percentage of education expenditure? It is less than 2.5%. Oh, sorry, health, it is less than 2.5%. Subsidies itself is giving 6%. So what is the rationale behind this? Anyway, pension 4% of are going for pensions, right? So that's why government has come up with a lot of defense schemes also, which are very short term, but to reduce pensions. Okay, so this is the distribution cycle of the government expenditure. Now, if you see the receipts, so we are talking about the two components, receipts as well as expenditure. So we are talking now the government receipt, the government receiving money. Government, the total budget of government is this year 50 lakh crores. The total budget that has planned. So government will receive 50 lakh crores. That is either revenue receipts or capital receipts. Expenditure also will be 50 lakh crores. Out of that, you can see we are getting only revenue receipts 34.2 lakh crores. Government has planned for expenditure of 50 lakh crores, but we are receiving money only 34.2 lakh crores. It means what? 16 lakh crores we need to borrow from the market, or by selling its assets. The government has to either get from the market in terms of debt, or government has to sell it off its assets. So capital receipt is 16.4 lakh crores, which is a huge thing. We need to try to reduce this. Is this clear, everyone? Revenue receipts and capital receipts. So if you add these two things, we will get the total budget that government has planned for. Okay. Now let's see the expenditure data also. These numbers are very important. Okay. That we have discussed. These numbers you have to remember. Also, I forgot the trend. The revenue receipt trend, you can see here, there is no consistency trend. 2023 to 24 it increased, then decrease, then increase. So there is no consistency increase or decrease. Okay. So there is no consistency trend. Now if you see the revenue receipts, just a second, my wife is calling. Let me, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. What we are receipts. So receipts is done. So the trend we are discussing, capital receipts, you can see here, there is a declining trend, but this year we have a slight extra. Okay. Just a second. Yes. So we are discussing about the trend. You can see capital receipts is declining. Okay, there is a declining trend in the capital receipt and slight increase this year. Okay, next one, let's go to the expenditure part. Now tell me, what is effective capital expenditure? What is effective capital expenditure? Many people will not know this because nobody explained. You see in YouTube videos, these are the things which is relevant, but nobody is discussing these things. What is effective capital expenditure? Okay, but in the context of budget, I am asking. Okay, anyway, let me discuss. So capital expenditure means you know that the whatever the money that is spent on creating assets, okay, and certain part of money every year from the center will go to the states to spend on capital expenditure. So basically, capital expenditure done by the central government plus whatever the central government has given money to the state to spend on capital expenditure, both together if you club, it is called as the effective capital expenditure. So basically, expenditure done by the center on capital assets as well as the money granted to the states to specifically spend on creating assets. These both if you add, we will get the effective capital expenditure. Okay, so that is 15 15.5 lakh crores. This is the effective capital expenditure for the year, upcoming year 2025-26. You can see the trend. It has increased and then decreased. So there is no consistently trend. They may ask you, effective capital expenditure of the central government is consistently declining or increasing. So there is no consistency, increase, decrease is there. Okay. Now revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure means paying salaries, one-way payments done by the government. Now the plan is 39.4 lakh crores government want to spend on revenue expenditure. And this is a, you can say slight increase, but anyway, here there is a decrease. So this is a revised estimate. So it may increase after 2 more months that's been done, right? So this is the trend in revenue expenditure. Now coming to the deficit trends. So tell me, what is fiscal deficit? What is fiscal deficit? Rather than typing in the message, tell me in the voice note. I mean, you can on the cam, on the voice
Total borrowings of the government.
of the government.
Yes.
For what span? Is it in a year or all the past trends? Is it in a year or for any specific period? Yes, fiscal year, correct. See, government has a total revenue of 34 lakhs and government expenditure is 50 lakhs. So what government has to do? Government either those 16 lakh crores, either government has to take away its asset, give its assets and get money, or government has to borrow, right? So out of 16 lakh crores, which is lagging, let's say 6 lakhs crores was taken from disinvestment and 10 lakh crores was taken from market borrowings. That is called as the fiscal deficit. As a, it is always measured with respect to GDP. So total debt borrowings that government has taken in that fiscal year as a percentage of compared to the total GDP of India is known as fiscal deficit. Is this clear? Right? So that is the fiscal deficit. And what is revenue deficit? Very simple. Revenue receipts minus revenue expenditure. And what is effective revenue deficit? Anyone? What is effective revenue deficit? In voice note. Okay, let me explain. So revenue deficit, you understood. The revenue expenditure minus revenue, I mean revenue receipt minus revenue expenditure. And whatever the money given to the states, the government, central government has given to the states, that is part of revenue expenditure only. So if we remove out of the total revenue deficit, if we remove the money given to the states for creating the assets, it is called as a effective revenue deficit. Okay, so that is called as effective revenue deficit. And primary deficit means out of the total physical deficit, how much money is used by for paying the interest for the past loans. We have taken loans past, right? So fiscal deficit minus the money that is borrowed and then given it for repaying of the loans, that is called as a primary deficit. Now if you see the trend, the physical deficit is consistently declining since 2021 financial year. 9.2, 6.7, 6.4, 5.6, 4.8, 4.4 is expected, uh, the physical deficit. So there is a consistent decline in physical deficit, which is a very good sign. And to if we want to admire this government at present, this is the biggest positive thing I can say, because uh, in the previous governments since independence, always fiscal deficit was high, especially when we were in crisis. But now we are managing the growth along with the fiscal deficit. So 4.4 is a very good number. 3.5 we will reach it after, like, within 3 4 years we will reach it. So fiscal deficit, there is a consistent decline. Revenue deficit, there is a consistent decline, which is a good sign. Again, you can see consistent decline: 7.3, 4.4, 4, 2.6, 1.9, 1.5. Then effective revenue deficit is also consistently declining, right? And then primary deficit also, we have a consistent decline. Among these four, fiscal deficit is highest as percentage of GDP. Then next is revenue deficit. Then we have primary deficit, and last is effective revenue deficit. So this chronology also you have to remember. Fine. So that is about the deficits. Now moving to the trend in net receipt of the center. So whatever the receipt that government is receiving, it will be in form of tax, non-tax, as I said, fees and all, non-debt capital receipts, that is disinvestments. So whatever money government is receiving, they are not talking about the borrowings. Okay. Effective revenue deficit is good for government. Yes, this term was introduced by Pranab Mukherjee when he was the finance minister in 2008 or 9, some way time. So it is one way good, but it should not be too much, because lot of states has misused. Even though government has granted for capital assets, they have misused, especially in Andhra Pradesh. We have seen the report of RBI that whatever the money granted for capital assets, they have spent on welfare activities. Okay. So government should keep a check on this as well. Okay, let's come back. Net receipt, whatever the government receipt is there. This green color one, tax receipt. So government net tax revenue is 28.4 lakh crores. Okay, 28.4 lakh crores is net tax revenue. Then net non-tax revenue is 5.8 lakh crores. And non-debt capital receipt is 0.8 lakh crores. That means 80,000. Government through disinvestment has got only 80,000 crores. Okay. So if you see the trend also, net center tax revenue is consistently jumping. This will be asked in the exam. Net center tax revenue is consistently increasing since 2021 or last 5 years. True. But non-tax revenue, there is a decline. Non-tax revenue, there is a decline in 2022-23. Decline, then consistently increasing. So from 2022-23, there is a consistent increase. Okay. So which is again a good. Okay, it's not a good sign actually. We cannot say good or bad. Anyway, disinvestment is increasing. That means privatization is taking place. Is this clear? These three things you have to know the trends also as well as the numbers also. Next, we are having a total transfers to states and union territories. How much central government is giving money to the states? So if you see, central government is giving more money to states. It is a consistent increase. Rather, it is a very steep. 17.17 lakh crores, 18.6, 20.65 lakh crores, 22. So consistently increasing. And this next year, they are expecting that they will share 25.6 lakh crores. Okay. So this is the trend that central government is transferring to the states and union territories. And the ministries which got the highest, this is not going to ask in central government, maybe, I mean, in UPSC, but in state PCS they may ask you. Defense, rural, home affairs are the three top ministries that they have got the money. This is in terms of crores. Okay. So top three, at least remember, in case, in your worst case, UPSC is now asking factual questions also. Defense, rural expenditure, and home affairs has got the highest. Then total transfers, as I was telling you, how much central government is transferring money to the states. This is the amount, 25.6 lakh crores amount central government is sharing for the states. Now, if you see this chart, no need to remember everything, just giving you an idea. Finance Commission grants, government is going to give, central government is going to transfer 1.32 lakh crores. 1.32 lakh crores is going to be granted as recommended by the finance grant. Under that, the majority share is going for a local bodies, you can see here, rural local bodies is getting 48,573 crores. So in exam, they may ask you, among the financial commission grants, which one is having the highest? First is rural bodies, then ULBs, urban local bodies. Then we have grants in aid for SDRF, State Disaster Response Fund. So at least top three you remember. Among the financial commission grants, rural local bodies, urban local bodies, and then SDRF, grants in aid. These are the three. Then transfers to states other than, I mean, beyond the 1 and 2, that is the transfer as well as the finance commission grants. Centrally sponsored schemes is having the highest money, you can see here. Okay, so this is the money. Anyway, that is not very important. For Delhi, Pondicherry, Jammu Kashmir together, they have transferred 58,480 crores. Okay, briefly just have an idea. Now, coming to the final slides, what is the total budget that we have planned for expenditure? 50.6 lakh crores. Here it is lakhs, 50.6 lakh crores what government has planned to do expenditure in this next coming financial year, 2025-26. And of course, receipts also will be the same. Whatever government want to do expenditure, the same will be planned, because that should be balanced. But anyway, in the end, it will not be equal. There will be some discrepancy anyway. But this is what the government receipts should equal to expenditure. Fine. But in that, how much revenue we are getting? We are getting only 34.2 lakh crores. After that, we are going to take from the capital receipts and borrowings and liabilities, that is debt. Debt borrowings itself is 15.6 lakh crores, and recovery of loans means loans that India has given to some other countries or maybe to the states, it is going to recover the loans. That will be 29,000. And other receipts are nothing but disinvestment. Are you following my point? What I am discussing? Please confirm once. The total budget, what we have planned, and total money that we have received, and whatever extra money that we need to get is either from market borrowings, 15.6 lakh crores, and then disinvestments, 47,000 or other receipts, and then 29,000 crores is from recovery of loans. Is this clear? Someone? Yes, great. Okay, thank you. Because I'm going without asking any questions, so just confirmation. Then these are the numbers, fiscal deficit. So now tell me, fiscal deficit out of this is what? That is this one only. Whatever borrowings we are taking, that is the fiscal deficit. 15.68 lakh crores. This should be same as fiscal deficit. You can see here. This number of 15.68 lakh crores is equal to the borrowings. So fiscal deficit is nothing but the borrowings and other liabilities that is being created in that particular financial year. As simple as that. It should be matched. And this should be matched expenditure and revenue. Rest of the numbers are not very important for us. Remember the fiscal deficit, that is 15.68 lakh crores is our fiscal deficit in that 1 year. So we have to try to reduce it. So these are the deficits, just to make you to show again repeated one. Same thing. Fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, effective revenue deficit, primary deficit. These are the numbers. Then now here there is a one important point. We have seen the physical deficit, that is the borrowings, but from where we are taking more borrowings. The major share of physical deficit is coming from market borrowings. There will be a statement in the exam. Most of the physical deficit we are borrowing it from market, government securities. Out of 15.6 lakh crores of the debt, 11.5 is from market borrowings, government security itself, and treasury bills 0. We are not going to use treasury bills at all in the coming year. This is what the government has said. Then security, again, small savings. Lot of people save lot of money in the post offices. That money government will use without, like in the parliament, they will take permission. They will use that and then they will give when the public asks. So this is also their, it is not their money, it is the public money who is saving. That will be 33.43 lakh crores. And then provident funds, those which will get after retirement, that will be 5,000 crores. And other debts, whatever is there, internal thing, they will get 40.74, 40,000 crores. And you can see external debt is very, very less. This been asked in 2019. Our major debt is coming from external, they have said. It is a very minimal. We are taking only 23,490 crores from the external sector. Most of the money that we are taking is from internal borrowings itself within India. Okay, so this is the distribution of source of financing. Then source of deficit, same thing. Whatever we have seen here, this was put it in chart. Market borrowings is the highest. So I'm not repeating again. Trend in tax receipts. So whatever the tax government is collecting from the tax, it is always considered as percentage of GDP. Our GDP is around 300 lakh crores, and out of the 12% we are getting in form of a tax. 12% of our GDP we are getting, government is getting as a tax. And out of this 12%, major share is from direct taxes, which is a good thing. 7.1% we are getting from direct tax, and just 4.9% we are getting from indirect taxes. Direct taxes put burden directly on the people, so they are always good. You can see the trend also. This direct tax is in fluctuation, but since 2021-22, there is a consistent increase of direct tax collection as a percentage of GDP. Yellow color one is direct tax, green color one is a indirect tax, both added, and then red one is a gross tax. So you can see here direct tax collection is consistently increasing since 2021-22, 4.86, 6.2, and indirect taxes there is a fluctuation 5.4, 5.5, 5.1, 5.1, 4.9, 4.9. So increase decrease fluctuations are there. So this is the net tax receipts. Same thing again in terms of net tax, like blue color one is center net tax revenue. It is consistently increasing. 28.4 lakh crores is being collected from the tax. Okay, non-tax we are collecting just 5.8 lakh crores. Still there is a decline and inclining trend. Okay. Next one is non-debt capital receipts, that is disinvestments. We are just taking 80,000 crores, right? So this is the thing you can interpret. If there is a consistent increase of center net tax revenue since 2018-19. Every year there is a, even since 2016-17, it is consistent increasing. But non-tax revenue, there is a fluctuation. And non-debt capital receipts, so again fluctuation. So no need to worry. Composition of expenditure, this we have already seen at the beginning, where rupee goes kind of. So you can see most of the money is going to central sector schemes. Then we have other central sector expenditure. So this is not very important. Anyway, total expenditure is 50.65 lakh crore. Then we have effective capital expenditure, that is government total, central government total expenditure plus the money given to the states for capital expenditure. So red color is a effective capital expenditure, and blue color one is the revenue expenditure. Obviously, you know we have a more revenue expenditure, and effective revenue expenditure is a less. Here, one positive sign is that we are reducing our revenue expenditure. You can see there is a consistent decline in the revenue expenditure since 2020-21. You can see here there is a consistent decline, which is a good sign. And capital expenditure, effective capital expenditure, there is a fluctuation 3.2, 3.5, 3.9, but here there is a drag because it is a revised estimate, means still 2 more months are there, so there may be increase. So again there can be a consistent increase as well. So this is the effective capital expenditure. This is also capital expenditure only, but yes, grants in aid, effective capital expenditure total. What is effective capital expenditure? I said the central government expenditure plus money granted to the states. Grant, so you, if you add blue color and yellow color, you can see here capital expenditure of the central government, grants in aid for creation of capital assets to the states. So if you add this yellow and blue color, you will get the red. This is what I was telling you, effective capital expenditure. So it is consistently increasing, and even capital expenditure of central government is also consistently increasing. Grants in aids to states, there is a decline, 1.1 to 3 something. Okay, so this is the trend in effective capital expenditure. Same thing again in terms of percentage of GDP. This is in terms of lakh crores. So same thing, nothing to worry. You can see here as well. Okay. And lastly, total transfers to states and union territories is consistently increasing. We have seen in the beginning itself. This slide is a repetitive. I have showed you how it was increasing. And the composition of transfers to states. This we did not discuss. You can see here. Out of the total transfers to states, devolution itself is 14.22 lakh crores, and the schemes related transfer is 10.5 10.05 lakh crores, and finance commission grants other than devolution is 1.3. So there is a you need to see the trend also in the financial year. So it is basically declining, it is increasing, it is increasing. Devolution, schemes related, and finance commission grants. And the last slide for today, the top three schemes that government has spent is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. 2 lakh 3,000 crores been allocated to this particular scheme. Then urea subsidy 11.1 lakh 18,900 crores was given to urea subsidy, and Manrega is given with 86,000 crore. We have hundreds of schemes. Out of that, total three schemes are these things. Okay. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, urea subsidy, and Mahatma Gandhi Manrega scheme. Fine. So that is the thing. I have taken a lot of time anyway, but trust me, this is a very important thing, especially the second part. Now, tell me if you have any doubts or any clarification that is required. If not, I will end the session. Just explain again difference between budget estimates and revenue estimate. See, budget estimate is for upcoming year, whatever the government has proposed 2025-26. So it is for upcoming year. We did not even know what will be done. It's just that we will estimate this for the next coming year. Revenue, there is no revenue estimate. Revenue estimate means what government is collecting. Revised estimate, you must be confused with revised estimate. Revised estimate, revised estimate means last year we have proposed as a budget estimate, but only 10 months been happened, still 2 more months are there. So we are revising it, we are revising the figures as of now. In 10 months what happened, still 2 more months are there, so we have to see what happens. That is not revenue estimate, revised estimate. Effective revenue deficit means whatever the revenue deficit is there for the government, the total revenue deficit minus the money given to the states for creating the assets. That is called as the effective revenue deficit. So because effective, why? Some money which is revenue deficit that we have created, we have a revenue deficit. Central government is having a revenue deficit, but out of that deficit, some money we have given to the states to create assets. That is also our money only. So basically, that is not a waste money. Revenue deficit implies is a wasteful money, but effective revenue deficit is does not clearly mention. I mean, effective revenue deficit clearly mentions how much money given for some benefit also for states. So that is the difference. Is this clear? Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay. Welcome. So all the best, everyone. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Specifically, economics and geography, I can deal very well because I'm working as a faculty here in a different academy. So you can always ask, reach out to me Telegram for any doubts, any preparation related things. Okay. See you. Take care. Good night. All the best. Yeah. Bye.